Public opinion has swung wildly against ICE. And for those of us on the Democratic side that have wanted to rein in this organization that has been talking about its abuses for many years, this feels like a golden opportunity where people finally realize, they understand incontrovertible video evidence of what ICE does. And in an environment where they suddenly have way fewer restrictions on what they do, virtually unlimited funding. So obviously there's an opportunity for the Democrats to come out swinging and really rein them in. When you look at polls like this, I mean, what other conclusion can you come to? ICE efforts to deport illegal immigrants are too aggressive. 59% of those answering a Fox News poll say. I mean, that's overwhelming. And that's one way to visualize the data. They also chose to put it, I think, on Twitter in this, or Instagram in this form, where they just have like masked ICE looming behind the poll results, which I feel like Fox probably doesn't like that people are turning against ICE, so I don't know why they're intimidating those reading their Instagram posts, but do you, boo, I guess. In any event, here's what the Senate Democrats are going to do. And as I reveal this, you're gonna realize that a lot of what I was saying earlier was utterly sarcastic and I have no faith in them. So with funding for about half of federal agencies to expire after midnight on Friday, we're once again at the possible opportunity for a shutdown. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said Congress needs to end roving immigration patrols like the ones that have ended up killing Alex and Renee, institute a uniform code of conduct for federal agents, and require that they wear body cameras while banning masks. And Republicans would need to get 6 Democrats in the Senate for the spending bill to pass, so there is leverage that they have, and this is what they want to spend it on. I mean, it would be better, I guess. Sure, I don't want there to be roving gangs. I'm not an immigration law expert or anything. I don't think there's supposed to be roving gangs right now. I feel like it's not that we need more regulations or laws. We need a system where the regulations and laws that we have are followed, or that there's a presumption of consequences if you violate them. Since there's no presumption of consequences, I'm not sure what a new regulation is going to accomplish. I mean, you could tell them you can't do the roving gangs, but if they do the roving gangs, Pam Bondi ain't gonna lock him up. So I don't really know what that's gonna accomplish. Good, they shouldn't do roving gangs, but again, don't know what it's gonna accomplish. Uniform code of conduct. Okay, that could mean a lot of different things, but like, are you talking about a uniform code of consequences? Like when you shoot someone, you are automatically put on leave, depending on the initial evidence, locked up pending the investigation, as you would do with virtually anyone else in the country that murdered someone in cold blood live on video. Sure, if it has that consequences, then that could be good. Will it? I don't know, I kind of doubt it. Again, a lot of this is feeling like strongly worded letters. Okay, so require that they wear body cameras while banning masks. And that's, okay, sure. First of all, I think most of them are wearing body cameras. And look, I want as much video footage as possible. One of the good things in the modern era though is that we already have a lot of video footage of everything that's happening. The issue isn't that we don't have enough angles, it's that nothing is done when we have the angles that we have. And also that a lot of Americans wouldn't necessarily care no matter what it was that they saw. And so I don't love that either. The banning masks, that's good. That is so bare minimum though. Yes, first of all, if they commit some sort of abusive act, I want them to be able to be instantly identified. So that is good. Also, if their faces are exposed, perhaps they won't commit the acts in the first place. I mean, we know that people are more likely to send death threats online under the guise of anonymity, whether they actually have anonymity or not. Just believing that you do is enough to make people more aggressive. So maybe if they stop covering up their faces, then they won't do the horrible things that they're doing. But that said, we did show you yesterday when a guy on video said, if you raise your voice, I'll erase your voice, and his face was fully being videotaped there. So I don't know what that'll do either. And what I would love to do is now move on to the next graphic where I say, and also we're gonna be massively cutting their funding. We're gonna be banning them from operating in cities where they don't have the consent of the mayor or the legislature or whatever, but they're not doing any of that stuff. They're not disarming ICE, they're not defunding ICE. They're barely hampering ICE. If they get these things, and the issue with that is, it is at the end of the day, Chuck Schumer. And like, I wanna be able to play devil's advocate. What is Chuck Schumer's big success, big victory of the last year? And I don't know what it is. And this is the starting point. Here's an idea, little art of the deal for you. Start with disarming and defunding ICE. And then if they won't go along with it, then you backtrack maybe to code of conduct, no roving games, body cameras, masks, all that. But that's where you're starting off. So we're not even like, we don't even have the wildest hope in the world that we get all of that. Maybe we get some of that, and I don't even know what some of that will accomplish at this point. So I am worried about it. Now, he seems very confident that he can keep the caucus united on this. He says, until ICE is properly reined in and overhauled, the DHS funding bill won't have the votes to pass the Senate. So good, he sounds confident, but I've heard him sound confident in speeches before. And I will also point out, Chuck Schumer, I'm gonna have to agree to disagree with you on whether the things you're asking for would properly rein in and overhaul ICE. Rein in, maybe a bit. Overhaul, Chuck Schumer doth protest too much. That what you are sketching out is not an overhaul. It's emergency reforms as like the first step towards an overhaul or entirely eliminating ICE. And also, and not just ICE, by the way, remember, it was Border Patrol that killed Alex. So there needs to be broad-based reforms, and this is just like the very bare minimum.